Hi, everyone, and welcome to the second session of Cornering the Marketplace. This session will be focused on Walmart, a guide to selling on Walmart, and we have an amazing panel of Walmart specialists to cover some of the latest news for the marketplace and also some strategies for expansion. I'm going to post a poll really quick. So while we wait for a few people to join, just please answer the poll. A few logistics. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat box. We have resources from each of our partners that you could download to learn more information. And the recording will be sent out within 24 hours, as soon as it's recorded. So please take a moment to answer the poll.
All right, let's check out the stats. All right, I'm not so surprised. So this will be a fun webinar. Gina, we can't hear you.
With that being said, I'm going to introduce some of the speakers. So today we have a great lineup. I'll be your host, Gina Torelli from Skubana. Chad, do you mind switching to the next slide?
Not at all.
I'm your host, Gina Torelli from Skubana. We also have Chad, CEO and co-founder of Skubana, Elizabeth, who's the Senior Director of Strategic Marketplace Services at Tenuity, David, who's the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Feedonomics, and Michael, who's the Director of Sales at Deliver. So without further ado, let's get started. Chad, I'll pass it over to you to show what we'll cover.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I just want to say thank you everyone for dialing in today. We put together a lot of content that I think is unique to this time. We've been talking a lot about COVID in our previous webinars. This one's really all about how we can be leveraging other marketplaces, especially since what's been happening on Amazon. One shout out is just really about the community and the amount of partners that we brought in. Partners and our community and peers in the space are more important than ever. So I just want to take time to give a shout out to those that are joining, that are interested and taking action during this time. We will all get through this together, and we're here to help. So we're going to be talking today about Walmart, really about some of the things that Walmart has launched in their initiatives, about how you can be leveraging Walmart in your strategy from an advertising perspective, and then also from a product perspective and a fulfillment perspective. So we have a lot to cover today. There's a lot of great content. I'm going to put on my timer here because I think I need to make sure I'm sticking to the time. So this is actually a really interesting slide. So this is essentially the top 10 retailers in the United States and how they've shifted over the course of time. And what you'll see in the first 4 decades, you'll see Sears, and then you'll see Walmart in the final past 4 decades here. This screen actually is specifically the homepage screen of the Walmart CEO, because every day he's thinking about who's going to try to unseat us and take us over. And so what you'll see here in 2020 is that Amazon is starting to inch up closer and closer to Walmart. And I just think this is just a very important slide. But I also think that it speaks to Walmart's, like the CEO of Walmart, this is what he's thinking about all the time and how he can innovate and be on the cutting edge and on the pulse of what the consumers that are shopping at Walmart want. So Walmart has started to really make a big push into e-commerce over the course of, say, the past decade or so, specifically around their purchase of Jet.com, which I think was more so an acqui-hire of Mark Lohr. They've started to acquire brands that are more luxury to tap into a new demographic that they weren't able to tap into, along with launching their marketplace, which I think has been a really huge boon for them, which we'll talk more about. So interestingly enough, Walmart has increased the amount of products sold on their site in a big way, sort of ripping out a playbook from Amazon. Amazon really launched their marketplace and were able to offer selection like no one else because of the marketplace that they offered, that they created almost maybe 15 years ago, roughly. Walmart's just been really using that playbook to their advantage. And you can see here that there's 51 million products sold on Walmart, and 92% of them are fulfilled by marketplace sellers. So, and I think the next slide will talk more about this, whereas you'll see sellers are approaching Walmart's marketplace, but not in the same way Amazon is. Amazon has 5 million sellers across all their different properties, but roughly I think 2 million of those are on Amazon. So it's gotten hyper competitive. And so with Walmart having 38,000 sellers, I still believe this is blue ocean. There's still a very big opportunity. And I also believe that like the recent circumstances with coronavirus and COVID and Amazon's response, and we'll talk again more about this coming up, just the way that they've responded to this and they've shut off certain selection and certain FBA is creating an opportunity for a lot of merchants that I'm seeing out there. So yeah, and I think the other thing just to point out is that Walmart is 5% of e-commerce sales. Again, this is just introduction, just talking about the opportunity here. Walmart is just really positioned well given their in-store pickup, given their buying power, and given the fact that they actually have toilet paper where a lot of others don't have toilet paper right now. So they have a lot of buying power. People are still looking to Walmart as a place to go to buy products, especially as the disparity between the upper class and the lower class start to widen now that the new unemployment numbers came out with 3.5 million job loss this past month, which is unbelievable what's happening. And again, I'm super excited that everyone's joining today because there's nobody else I want to ride out this pandemic and have a webinar and certainly not cut my hair for the upcoming days and being on video, working with everybody through these issues that we're having together collectively as a community. So just speaking to Walmart in a sense that they're always low price, they do appeal to those that are hit by the crisis the most right now. And so this is a great way to tap into the lower class or the underclass that you maybe haven't traditionally been able to tap into. And you can see here in the 13 billion annual revenue from SNAP, that's actually the revenue that's collected from food stamps from Walmart. And you can actually do that. You can actually buy your groceries using food stamps online right now, and also accessing the marketplace simultaneously. So it's a really interesting opportunity, one that I think that I want to underline and make sure that everyone's very aware of, which is why we're having this webinar together. And I think that's all I want to share on this piece. They're also probably the largest employer right now. So again, as smaller businesses close, I think there was recently a stat that roughly about 40 to 50,000 small businesses have closed due to coronavirus this past month. Walmart is still remaining open. In fact, their employees are still coming to work. And of course, their marketplace is expanding and growing during this crisis. So again, they've made a lot of investments around being able to get your pharmaceutical drugs and online grocery delivery as well. They have the biggest market share in the United States from a grocery store perspective. Again, a different type of audience than I think what Amazon sellers are accustomed to. And I can't tell you how many Amazon sellers are reaching out to me saying, hey, do you know a 3PL? How can I set up a warehouse right now? These are things that are happening because everyone has invested and put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket is Amazon's basket. And now is the time for people to really take a hard look, not just of the way that they're running their life, but the way that they're running their business and ways that they can learn from this and not let it happen again. So really you want to go to where the puck is going, not where the puck is. And Sam Walton, this quote I think underlines this, is to succeed, you need to stay ahead of the change, to be in front of the change. And that's really why we're all collectively joining this webinar together today. So we're going to talk about how you're going to be expanding onto Walmart's marketplace and capturing, because I do believe this is blue ocean for a lot of those merchants that haven't embraced Amazon today. So let's dive right into it. I just shout out to Gina for organizing and coordinating all the sponsors and partners on this webinar together. Thank you for working on a lot of the slides and doing a lot of the back-end research around our point of view around selling on Walmart. My name is Chad Rubin. I am the co-founder and CEO of Skubana. I also happen to be an e-commerce brand called Think Crucial. We manufacture and sell home appliance parts. We sell across roughly 15 different channels out there. So we've been going multi-channel for a long time. And I've always looked at selling online like playing Monopoly. You want to be on every piece of the board to win. That's how you win at Monopoly. So if people land on that board, they have to pay. So, and that's how we built Skubana, really out of enabling brands to go omni-channel, multi-channel, to sell in-store, to be able to fulfill from in-store, to be able to have a 3PL and a warehouse, and to orchestrate all those orders from all the channels, forecast, demand plan, and most importantly, make sure you're making money with a little bit of automation involved as well. So this is a fascinating slide. So firstly, Amazon recently announced that they're suspending shipments of non-essential products, not allowing FBA shipments inbound that are non-essential. So my e-commerce business, which is in the home and garden category, which I view as essential, vacuum filters, air filters, pet filters, coffee filters, out of our 2,000 SKUs, 80 of those SKUs were blocked. And I can't create new listings out of it, and I can't even appeal it because Amazon is just that type of black box where they're at a certain scale where they're not allowing people to make changes to their offering because their selection is so freaking wide. You can't reclassify your SKUs, you can't change the node of your SKUs where they're classified in. And so I think what's happening now is that there's a shift where Amazon sellers, number one, are trying to figure out, how do I go FBM? How do I go fulfilled by merchant really quick? How do I find a 3PL like Deliver, for example, to do that? How do I maybe set up my own fulfillment in-house to do that? And also, hey, maybe I shouldn't have invested my entire life savings in Amazon. Maybe there's a chance that Amazon is really not a business, it's just a channel, and this allows me to open up my purview and my business to many other channels that are out there. So Walmart has a lot less sellers, much less competition, and you're not competing with the house. So I love blackjack, and I can't wait to play it in person again. But essentially, with Walmart, if you look at the blue line here, this is Walmart, the number of products that are on Walmart, and it's not a lot. And if you look at the bottom here, the orange line, it's actually first party products, meaning Walmart's competing against you. So Walmart is not here to like copy your products, imitate your products for you to compete directly with them. They're actually enabling their sellers to come and join the platform and to succeed on the platform without having to compete with Walmart direct as a 1P vendor. So I think that's super interesting, especially in this crisis right now. Again, just underline the fact that I do believe you need to diversify your offering to survive. If I was even investing in many stocks, I wouldn't put everything in one stock. I'm not even investing in the market right now. I'm not here to give you feedback on the market, but essentially you want to be in many different channels to succeed. And I think Four Sigmatic, I always talk about them. I think they have great landing pages. I think they have great email marketing. They have an in-store. They're selling across as many channels as possible. They're obviously advertising like crazy right now, especially given the fact that a lot of people are seeking to boost their immunity right now, their immune system. And so I love looking at what others are doing to succeed and imitating those. Instead of recreating the wheel, I want to throw some gold-plated hubcaps on that wheel and make them pop. So I like to see who's doing it really well. The other thing is that with Amazon, you don't control much. As you can see right now in this environment, you can't really control much. So there's this migration of merchants and brands, retailers are like, hey, how do I take control? How do I do seller fulfill prime really quickly? How do I get in-house fulfillment activated quickly? How do I find a 3PL to utilize quickly? And that's part of the things that we're talking about today. And part of that is actually using a software like Skubana to track and monitor your entire business and empower you to sell multi-channel. So take back your destiny, bring it back into your own hands. selling on one channel is not really a long-term viable option, especially if you're looking to sell right now. And I do believe there's going to be a lot of Amazon businesses that are looking to sell for super cheap because they've been just hit so hard by what's happening right now, and they just can't survive. One of the ways to survive is to actually be nimble, to be agile, to be quick. A lot of these brands, bigger brands, can't do that. With the right software. For example, Deliver is built right into our app store, just like Shopify has an app store. We have an app store. You can click a button, you can get started with Deliver right away and start activating your other channel strategies, which Deliver is going to talk more about later today. I don't believe that Walmart's for everybody, right? So certain brands maybe don't want to be on Walmart. Now, I would have never thought that Four Sigmatic would be embracing Walmart the way that they are, but they are, because people are looking for immunity boosters on Walmart. Now, certain premium luxury brands that have a little bit of hubris and maybe a little ego haven't wanted to embrace Walmart because they don't want to have their product seen on Walmart. But Walmart is a viable option. They're essentially tapping into certain markets that maybe a lot of these premium brands couldn't tap into initially, and will give you a slew of new audience dollars to capture during this time. So if you want to get a test, I never say just throw all your products on a specific channel because that's a lot of legwork. I believe in having a minimum viable product, meaning put your hero SKU or put the SKU that's your economy SKU, sort of the SKU that appeals to everybody on the channel, and just work on that SKU and collect data and see how the audience reacts to it. Interestingly enough, with Four Sigmatic, they actually didn't control a lot of their Walmart listings. So there's a lot of third-party sellers that are controlling their brand equity right now, and they've lost control of some of their brand on Walmart. So when you do launch your product on Walmart, you can take back how your brand exists on this channel, how people perceive it, how the titles are, how are the images that are on there, your bullet points, your descriptions, so that you make sure you don't dilute your brand during this process. But just as I encourage brands to have a presence on Amazon, I encourage brands to have a presence on Walmart and to learn and collect data from that presence. On top of that, I think now more than ever, it's really important for people to stop using spreadsheets and certainly start having an eye for variability forecasting. Right now, things are moving on the dime. Partners that join this webinar today, we ask them within hours to resculpt their slide deck and make it appropriate to what's happening with coronavirus right now versus 2 days ago or 5 days ago or 10 days ago. And that's really why it's so important to have a community and have partners that can be nimble and quick like that. And I do believe that you need to be doing that for your business today. So you need to be analyzing what are SKUs that are moving more well right now, that are our highest profit items that we want to double down on. Maybe I want those to be shown on Walmart. You need to have a process in place so that you could actually fulfill and have a 3PL like Deliver set up immediately so that you can actually capitalize on other channels and off Amazon opportunities, especially since Walmart and eBay are really poised to survive right now because they're allowing you to create new listings on their channel. So it's one way to essentially get indexed on Google really quick without having to add that to your site on Shopify or anywhere else. But most importantly, you want to make sure you're seeing what your winners are and what your losers are, doubling down on the winners and letting go of the losers, but also understanding what is your moving average of your velocity. So if you say, I want to look back in the past 30 days across all my warehouses and all my channels, what are we going to run out of stock with in the next 30, 60, or 90 days? And making sure that you're in touch with your supply chain to make that happen. Lastly, I think it's very, very important to outline a plan and to make sure that you're understanding your cost structure. I spoke about this last week on the coronavirus webinar that we did, which is essentially scenario modeling, understanding what is the best case outcome from this, the medium case and the worst case, and really trying to prep your business for those different scenarios. This virus preys on the weak and elderly and people that have lower immune systems as human beings, but it also is preying on the weak businesses right now. And right now, it's the quickest businesses that react to this that are going to be able to bounce back the quickest from this as there's a recovery in place. So you want to make sure you're recession-proofing your business right now and buckling up because we don't know what the world is going to look like. We don't know if the stimulus package is going to do what we anticipate it to do, all we know is that there's been 3.5 million people that were let go, and I keep on having more and more conversations of more people that are being let go in this time. So that's one thing, is make sure you have a plan in place, that you're not surprised by this. You want to leverage automation as much as you possibly can. I do believe that right now, the stronger businesses are going to survive, or they're going to start taking market share and outperforming their competitors, where the competitors that don't have automation, that aren't lean, that aren't agile, are going to be really struggling with this. So making sure you're preparing for the bounce back and sort of projecting when you think there's going to be an uptick, and you can only do that based on the moving average of your products. Right now at Skubana, for example, we're seeing a massive surge of these essentials, essential household products, computers where people are working from home. There is a lot of opportunity around the chaos that is being experienced in the retail space. Lastly, I'm a big fan of looking at M&A opportunities right now. I think things are really cheap, and they're going to start getting cheaper. So start looking at even competitors that maybe are struggling to pick up the pieces, where you can essentially take duplicative processes and pairing them together so that you're driving more top-line revenue into absolute dollars of your business. And certainly make sure you're getting an inventory management system that is nimble, that's agile, that's not painful to deploy, that can be quick to respond and help you expand from FBA to FBM, maybe even multi-channel fulfillment, enabling app partners like Deliver in the App Store that are plug and play, that aren't super cumbersome. The last thing I want to leave you with, I know I'm dropping a lot today and I'm speaking really quickly because I'm limited on time, and we have some great content to share from our partners, is that we have launched a Slack community. So right now, everyone is virtual, and essentially we are building an audience of retailers and brands only to come together to share experiences, to drop knowledge, to support each other during this time. We've got some amazing brands that are already involved, like House Beauty, Lady Gaga, or a brand, Lady Gaga's a cosmetic brand, or as you see Noah here, who's the co-founder and CEO of Nomad cell phone case company. So we've got some incredible brands that are contributing a lot of knowledge and value to the different Slack channels that we have. We'd love you to join. You can apply to join with that link right there, bit.ly/slackd2c. You can spell it that way, or you can just make everything lowercase and apply. We'd love to have more people join. We are being selective. There's a lot of people that want to join, so make sure you apply through the webinar, because this is the only place that we're actually announcing it currently. All right.
My name is Elizabeth Marston. I'm the Senior Director of Strategic Marketplace Services at Tenuity. Tenuity is a agency first with all of the agency services. So we have marketplace, paid search, shopping and feeds, SEO, email, CRO, analytics, integrated media strategy, programmatic, and creative. And I'm sure I forgot somebody, so sorry about that. But we are a large organization throughout the United States. We have about 6 offices and about 650 employees. And what's awesome is I'm a remote employee, like normally. So this is COVID happened, and I went, well, I guess I just will stay where I am. So that was the good news. As a Senior Director of Strategic Marketplace Services, that means that I work on all the new stuff. So we have a very strong Amazon presence or business line that we have going now, but currently what I'm working on is Walmart and building out our Walmart offering and what that might look like. So one of the things that to add to that today, for obviously COVID is top of mind, I feel like you're not allowed to not have something to say about it. But for Walmart in particular, what we've seen is they're not experiencing official delivery disruptions. So unlike some of the turbulence that we're now seeing with Amazon, there is less. There's obviously more options for buy online, pick up in store. So as Chad showed in his slides, the reach that Walmart has just from a store perspective, but geographic as well, especially in those key categories. Yes, they still have toilet paper, not online, but you have to go in the store or pick up. Some of those are a pick up in-store only item, like you have to physically go in. Some of those less in demand items are still available for that 2-day delivery free ship if you get that 35 minimum order. Deliver will go into this a little bit later, more about those operational warehouses and how the fulfillment partner and how they get that done. And then there's obviously the official Walmart COVID response. So what I'm going to cover today is Walmart Media Group, or the advertising option. So for some of you that aren't even selling on Walmart yet, this isn't as relevant. This is a for later thing, and I hope you'll think of me in Tenuity when the time is right. But what I want to cover today is there's 3 different types of advertising through Walmart. There's search display and video, or Voodoo. I'm going to focus today on the sponsored products more than anything else. And that's the thing that we're most, or the ad unit that we're most familiar with on Amazon. So search is performed, a sponsored product usually performs somewhere in that search result and or on a product detail page. And I'll go into that in greater detail. Probably the biggest benefits that Walmart advertising that they've posted out there is, you can jumpstart newer struggling SKUs on the marketplace, which is very true. Capturing seasonal spikes. Average increase about 10% in sales, category dependent, in terms of on top of your organic sales. You can, and this is in the Walmart FAQs, they do state this, that you will increase organic, or you can increase organic impression or rank through sales velocity and volume. So obviously, somebody goes to walmart.com, they put something in, keyword in, your product comes up, they click on it, they buy it. You've taught Walmart that is relevant for that query, so they're going to go grab it, do it, and rinse and repeat, right? Flywheel. And then, of course, as we were talking about earlier, it's not Amazon, and that diversification, I think, is why a lot of us are here today. So first and foremost, I want to touch on two advertising types that I'm not going to dig into too great of detail. One is the Walmart Search Brand Amplifier. So this is for head terms. So 2-3 words tops. You'll go in, generic search bar, put it in, and you will see at the top there the logo and then 3 products that follow it. And that's just top of the search page that you can get, and it's booked via the Walmart Media Group. The other that you can book through the Walmart self-service advertising UI, but not directly, is the buy box banner. So on a product detail page underneath the buy box or add to cart, you will see in that red there a banner-like experience for potentially a competitive product. You have to have a $1 minimum CPC bid in an automatic campaign in order to qualify. Average CPC on that is category dependent. I usually say if you're trying to win that particular placement, you probably want to go higher than that, probably about $2 in order to get that. And you won't be able to see that, and I have this later on in my slides, that you will be able to see that placement report, like how many buy box banner impressions you received. However, you still can't control it. And then, of course, the meat of today, I want to talk mostly about Walmart sponsored products. So these are the in-grid search results that you may be more used to seeing on Amazon. These are cost per click. They drive within Walmart product detail pages. You can control how much you spend. You do set a minimum budget at the campaign level for $1,000 and a daily ad spend at $100 per day. It is the minimum required amount that you have to put in when you are going through the Walmart setup. That's just the way it is. It's not necessarily what you will spend, but it is what you have to input. And it is, I recognize as a paid search person, my OCD kicks in and I don't want to put $1,000 in, but that's what you have to do in order to get it started. These spots show up in in-grid search 3, 5, 6, or 12. I did ask why those spots in particular. That wasn't anything I was could have disclosed to me, but that is where it is. And there's only 2 spots in a SERP at once. In order to be eligible, though, the product in question must be appearing organically within the top 3 pages of search results for that related query. And of course, you have to be winning the buy box. So same rules as Amazon on that one. There are a few different places that sponsored products can show. Search results page, obviously, product detail pages, browse pages, and I will go into an example of that because I also had to dig a little bit when I was first learning this, the difference between a browse page, a topic page, and a category page. So a category page is pretty, I think, straightforward. It's those topic pages and those browse pages that starts to get a little sticky. They're also shown in a few different formats. So besides the singular products within the search engine grid, search result grid, you also have the carousel. And the carousel is what we see a lot more of. It's located on the search results page, category pages, and the bottom of product or item. These are those item pages at the bottom of when you scroll all the way down. You do not need to appear organically in the first 128 results in order to be in that placement. And that's partly one of the reasons I see as many impressions as I do for that particular unit. That is one thing to keep in mind there. And then, of course, we have our campaign types. So Walmart is similar to Amazon in that there are automatic and manual campaigns. The automatic campaign is when Walmart determines when to display a sponsored product based on the keywords identified from the product title, descriptions, other material, whatever they feel is relevant to the products that you have chosen and put in that product group or that campaign. Must be winning the buy box, same thing. you can set the bids at the product level, and they're eligible for all of the placements, so that buy box banner. The manual campaigns, however, are manually where on the keywords that you select that you want to bid on, and depending on the match type. So the same match types of exact, phrase, broad do apply here, and you must be winning the buy box. You can set the keywords or the bids for the keywords at the match type level, and it's a 220 keyword limit per campaign, which is actually pretty small compared to, say, Amazon or Google. So keep that in mind. And what I found is you don't want to add a bunch of keywords either, like just stuffing keywords in there as many as you can. Just more maintenance more than anything else. Things to note about that as well: Walmart is a first price bid auction. Amazon and Google are second price, meaning the bid that you put in, let's say there's two of you competing and you both put a bid in, whoever the highest bid is obviously wins, but you only pay a penny more than the second place bidder. In this case, you pay what you bid. So you have to be careful not to be, in a sense, overpaying. So no matter what that second place bidder bid is, so if you put that $2 in trying to win the buy box banner and you only needed to put in, say, $1.30, then you've overpaid. So you'll have to keep very close track of that. And then, of course, it is based on the maximum you will pay per click. There are minimums, 20 cents and 30 cents respectively. So 20 cents for the automatic campaigns, 30 cents for a manual. Walmart has recommended starting higher, so higher than that minimum. Get those impressions, learn faster, and then drop the bid down as performance starts to come in. I don't care for that methodology as much because it is harder to control on Walmart as far as when you jack up the bid and then try and bring it down. But it depends on how fast you need these answers as well. So for some folks that may work. I start with at least 50 to 60 cents, so like double that minimum, especially on a manual campaign. Additionally, the relevancy bid and buy box, so to get that impression, you want to make sure, like I said, appear in that top 128. You need to rank higher than or equal to organic search ranking for that product in order to get that impression. Obviously, same category as the search query and the same product type of at least one non-sponsored item in the first page of search results. To win the buy box, it's Walmart. You got to have the competitive price point. Product has to be in stock. Fast shipping speed, 2-day is ideal. So Deliver, we'll get into that quite a bit and how you can get that 2-day ship badge. And then on-time delivery and positive reviews. So we're talking about just some of the basic seller metrics in order to be successful in Walmart. Seems like it would make sense. So obviously, if you're able to do this on Amazon and replicate this on Walmart, you will have similar conversion. Walmart also has what's called bid modifiers. So you can increase with a placement or platform you want to emphasize, or mobile, desktop, or mobile web. What I have seen best is desktop and mobile app. Mobile web experience for sponsored products is not nearly as clean and is not as good looking. Conversion rate tends to be better on either desktop or mobile, like a dedicated format. Placement, again, is that buy box banners, what that means, and then search and grid. And here's what it looks like if you were to run a report on that. So you get reports for campaign performance by placement and platform. Category, and like I was saying a little bit, think of it this way. Category page is the top level category. So when you look at walmart.com and you look at the left nav and you see all those different categories, it's pretty high level. It's, like beauty. Browse is pretty much after that and should be considered like a subcategory. So think about the way that you would go into a physical Walmart store and you would look down the aisles and look at, when you go to a store, you don't ask the clerks where the bread category is. You ask where the bread aisle is, or the bread department. And so that browsing capability or that browsing behavior is something from stores kind of transferred online as part of the experience. Topic pages are timely or collection based, can range from anything from like 4th of July beauty that I've seen to like winter accessory collections for kids, that kind of thing. So keep that in mind. They tend to disappear after a while, come in and come out. And then last but not least, some of the campaign management optimization tips. So 10 to 15 SKUs in a single ad group or campaign to gain enough traction. Do not do single SKU groups unless you have a significant amount of traffic. And when I say significant, I mean in clicks, not in impressions, but like clicks and sales. In order to justify breaking that out, it's just a matter of the sophistication so far of what the Walmart system is able to understand on what a product is and what people are looking for and what they buy. Do use the suggested keywords tab after the campaign has run for about a week. In impressions, you want to go from top to bottom in order of priority because the the relevance after the first 8 or 9 terms really drops off considerably. I would not just add everything that's in that suggested tab. I would cherry pick the top few every couple of weeks. Make sure to take a look at Walmart.com site search. So put in what the thing is, and then start to see what Walmart suggests after that, and then you will have a pretty good idea of the top level queries that your product could show for. And same with related searches, which show at the bottom of the page. My wish list, because folks always ask, there are no negative keywords with Walmart right now. And there are also no search term reports. So it is a little bit of kind of like swimming in the dark. So you're kind of swimming around, you're not sure necessarily what's always down there, and you hope there's nothing that's going to grab you. I know that just sounds terrifying, but it is a little bit dark right now. Targeting by placement or page types, you cannot definitively say this placement at this priority. You can do a little bit with the bid modifiers, but it's not as directive. You can't just say this placement only and not that placement. And then a dashboard that aggregates top level data for all campaigns. One thing I did put in here as my last piece here, so resources. So I've got, check it out. So Walmart sponsored products, they have a help center. It is not gated like the Amazon stuff is. You can just go in and access it. You can apply here for a Walmart advertising account if you're already a seller, some articles, and then the Tenuity blog. And also, I want folks to know that if they want to have any questions about Walmart, just feel free to reach out directly.
All right, excellent. So again, David Waltzman, I head up our strategic partnerships at Feedonomics. As far as what that includes, it ranges typically from bringing in data from e-commerce platforms, normalizing, optimizing, and then syndicating to shopping channels. Those could be CSEs, could be marketplaces, affiliate networks, and so on. So from a partnership perspective, we're really trying to reduce friction points with feed at both ends and make just a cleaner experience for performance marketers. And so listing optimization is critical. I don't know about you, but when I'm going through a marketplace or really any search page for that matter, I never go to the second page. And about 70% of folks are with me on that. So it's really important that we get you the best titles, descriptions, categories, and anything we can to get more eyeballs to your product and get it known in the marketplace. And so as far as categorization specifically on Walmart, we have specialists at Feedonomics on Walmart. They go through all the recommended options and fields, make sure that they understand what's required for that category. So what's a little different here, if you're used to, let's just say, posting to Google Shopping, is that it's not the same fields and taxonomy for everything. It's going to be more individualized based on the types of products that you're selling. And so Walmart understands this, that you also may not be intimately familiar with their taxonomy. So of course, it's best to get as detailed as possible. If you don't go to all the way to the bottom subcategory, that's okay. Obviously, you won't be as relevant and not show up as high in the page results. So that's one of the values that we bring to the table is Feedonomics, that we have our experts that understand all of this and handle it for you. Another thing to think about is variations. So again, on a core Google Shopping feed, you'll have a row in your feed for every SKU. But once you go to marketplaces, one of the things that changes is that you need to have parent SKUs. And so all the different variations fall under that parent. We have some slick ways of doing that in our platform. And again, we have our marketplace specialists that do this day in and day out and build the database properly. As Elizabeth just mentioned, it's really important to win the buy box. As far as how to do that and have the best content, you should definitely get out there to start. That's requisite. But being a primary content provider or PCP is really important on Walmart. It's similar to being brand registered on Amazon. And so whoever is the PCP gets to control what attributes are on that page. And so if you are not that person, regardless of what's in your feed, that other content is going to be showing. So if you're the first one there, definitely claim it. all this listing data is considered on a UPC basis. So it's not just brand, but actually the specific product being listed. And to be extra competitive, like Elizabeth was saying, you want to have good pricing, good shipping, and especially now in the age of COVID, make sure that your product is in stock. Since we're moving lots of data now and probably part of a multi-channel strategy, we want to make sure that we add rules in Feedonomics to make sure that good quality data is being sent out on a recurring basis. The things that you'd want to look out for are, if a certain amount of your products have an empty category for Walmart, or maybe links don't have HTTP in the beginning, so it's an invalid link for your images. A variety of different things can be added to this. And again, it's really just to make sure that in the age of automation, we still get individual attention to quality, and that our team of analysts get notified and can make changes. And if needed to change source data, we work with your teams as well. A more advanced functionality that we do with our clients once they're on to Walmart is to make sure that we start doing A/B testing. Right, so that can be for titles most commonly, stepping it up a level from there. We can also look at image testing, and then also adjusting different attributes that we have in the feed. So it could be using things like color, size, gender, different noun aliasing techniques, just to make sure that, again, the offer is most attractive. I should also note that this is going to change based on the destination. So what works best on Walmart may be different than works on Google, may be different than what works on Amazon. So we're cognizant of all of that, and that's why we have specialists in each of these domains. So once you start selling your products on Walmart Marketplace and all the other ones that you're doing already, in Feedonomics, we have a convenient dashboard where you can view all of those orders. You can see the fulfillment status, you can see shipping information, what was in those orders, and of course you can query once that's all done. This isn't necessarily the source of truth for your data. You're going to have other business systems for that. But with Feedonomics, again, it's just quick access to the data to see it all consolidated. And this information that we're shipping back and forth is happening about every 15 minutes and keeping you up to date. So how does all this actually work? Our offering's called Feedamp at Feedonomics for marketplaces. And so what we would do is gather your catalog, which could be updating maybe 4 times a day. We could do up to every 15 minutes if needed. And so we push your catalog to the marketplace. And then when an order happens on Walmart, we collect that information and shuttle it back to your e-commerce store, file the order, get all the transaction information and decrement inventory, and ship it back to Walmart. So again, this process goes back and forth every 15 minutes to make sure that there's no overselling. And so that's what I had to cover today. I'll be able to hand it off to the next presenter now.
Thank you so much, David. Next up, we have Michael from Deliver.
We're all good. Let's dive into it. I'm Michael Sine, Director of Sales at Deliver. And before I dive in, I just wanted to give a quick 1-minute overview of Deliver. And really how we started was just to see this challenge that many sellers were facing with fulfillment across many channels. Now, I know from the poll, many people are not selling on Walmart already, which leads me to believe many are selling on Amazon. And as Chad mentioned, a lot of sellers have put a lot of their eggs in one basket. And with some of the challenges with using FBA right now, one, it's not allowed by Walmart. They're not integrated into fast shipping programs. So like Walmart 2-Day, Amazon's focus is Prime, and that's what their main focus will be. All items are shipped in Amazon branded boxes when you're using it for multi-channel fulfillment. And then one of the main ones everyone's seeing right now is the delays due to the coronavirus, both in inbounding and outbounding, and also restrictions. Some Prime dates are pushed back. I saw some yesterday as I was trying to make an order, April 21st, and then I went on to Walmart and saw it for this week. Some of the other challenges with using a traditional 3PL, pricing is high, it's unpredictable. You'll often be required to have a minimum amount. Our minimum amount is 1 unit, 4 to get nationwide 2-day. You'll have long-term contracts. They don't support fast shipping programs and very long onboarding times. So some 3PLs will require 4 to 6 weeks. Our shortest time we've seen is 2 days. We had a seller on Monday who is inbounding their stuff on Tuesday and should be for sale on Walmart by the end of the week. So that's where we come up with Deliver. And we're essentially a multi-channel. We are inherently multi-channel across many channels. And the main one we're talking about is Walmart today. We have 30+ nodes across the nation that are fully operational right now, and there are no disruptions due to the coronavirus. And we update that daily. We don't foresee any, but we're always monitoring it. And so we're getting many sellers coming from Amazon right now who are looking to sell onto Walmart and sell even their FBM stuff as well. And so what we do is, our main points are we have clear, simple pricing, which I'll show you a screenshot in a bit. We offer Prime-like badging on Walmart 2-day, eBay guaranteed delivery, and it's a very hassle-free setup, which I'll show you in a little bit. And so what we'll talk about here is specifically the Walmart 2-day badge. We also do other fast tags as well. Wish is one of our current partnerships that we just launched as well, so Wish Express. But for the Walmart 2-day badge, we're seeing a huge lift across our sellers, 156% average lift just from having the 2-day badge. If you do a search on Walmart, you'll see a lot of items are free standard shipping. So having that 2-day badge allows you to just win that buy box. If you're a reseller, just get up in the search results and in the indexing. We just got a stat this morning that 3% of all of Walmart's 2-day items are fulfilled by Deliver right now. And we see that number growing more and more as we bring in more sellers. Here's an example of just some items right now that you'll see that are seeing a huge lift by having that 2-day badge. The shampoo item didn't move for 60 days. You throw on the 2-day badge, they saw a 500% increase in lift just by having that badge. Whoops, looks like my screen went away for some reason. There we go. Apologies there. And then we also have new pricing that's out April 1st. So you'll go onto our cost calculator, you can type in your ASIN or just paste the URL and you'll get those 2-day rates from Walmart, assuming you're signed into a free account, which takes 1 to 2 minutes to do. You also get access to Walmart's performance ad program. Once you send in your items, you get approved for this. So you can work with any of the partners on this call to help optimize that, but you'll be approved into the Walmart performance ads program as soon as you activate your fast tags and send in your items to Deliver. A couple questions that have come up is what's the difference between Deliver and Walmart fulfillment services? We also value our partnership with Walmart greatly, but there are some differences between WFS and Deliver. One, we're inherently multi-channel versus being channel locked. So you can send items to us and we can fulfill across all networks. We believe we have really competitive pricing. Go ahead and check it out. We also, across various channels that are outside of Walmart, can offer next day in some areas at no additional cost to our 2-day rate. So in California, for example, where I'm at, we're having next day across the board, and people are only paying the 2-day rate for that, which is a great added benefit. In addition, I know there are some delays with regards to approvals for WFS. So we noticed some sellers were getting waitlisted for up to 2-3 months, which is totally fine if they're looking to go that route. But we also offer a very quick onboarding time. Like I mentioned, it can get onboarded today and send your items in today and for sale by early next week. Getting started is pretty quick. It's 3 simple steps that I'll go through right now: connecting Deliver, send inventory to Deliver, and opt into our fast shipping programs. You create a Deliver account with any of your integration tools or Walmart. We partner really closely with Skubana. Highly recommend that as an integration tool to feed product into the Deliver network. You send inventory into Deliver. You create a shipping plan very similar to Amazon FBA. And then you opt into the fast shipping programs. We are constantly adding more fast tag programs on here that you can be eligible for if you integrate directly with Skubana to Deliver. And then you just watch your orders come in. It's a very seamless process. And here's for the folks, I noticed there was about 60% of people on this call that are not even selling on Walmart. Go to deliver.com/Walmart right now, fill out an application. We actually have a commitment with Walmart that they will try to approve those within 24 hours if there are no problems with the application and everything is filled out correctly. So give or take about 24 to 48 hours. Feel free to email me directly after this if you do submit it, and I can go ahead and keep eyes on that. So that's a separate Deliver Walmart application that's on our site at deliver.com/Walmart. Wanted to share one quick case study with you guys today. This is Earthwise Bags and how they started with Deliver and started to see a huge increase over a 3-month period and what they did with regards to 2-day tags and some of the stuff that was mentioned on this call. I always talk about this flywheel effect, which is better visibility, allows you to get more sales, and then you have that 2-day shipping and ads that actually starts that whole funnel and starts that snowball or flywheel effect. And as that happens, you start getting more reviews. The beauty of Walmart is it's less competitive than Amazon. So having a few or even just a handful of reviews puts you above the competition. And so this is Earthwise Bags. And in month 1, they got everything up and running on Deliver and started showing that 2-day tag. They had 69 orders, nothing to write home about, but then they started utilizing the ads. So with some of the partners on this call, you can utilize that ad program. And they started having that 2-day tag and they started showing up higher in search. Their second month, 346 orders in the given month. Still nothing to write home about, but as that started happening, they started getting more reviews, better visibility, more sales. And then you do a search for reusable bags on the front page, and they had 9 out of the first 20 on the first page. So that is a huge, huge increase in a matter of 3 months. And in 3 months, they went to 800 orders. And I'm proud to say, as of this morning, they are doing close to 100 orders a day on reusable bags on Walmart.com. So there's a huge effect that you can have in a quick amount of time by using Deliver. And so if you're so inclined, just go into Deliver, create a free account, enter Virtual Summit 2020 in the promotions tab under settings when you create that account, and you can get 3 free months of storage up to $250 today if you go create that account. That's all I have.
All right, great, Michael. That was awesome. So now we're going to kick off the Q&A round. Just enter your questions in the chat box and I will be sure to get to them. We already have a few. First question is, actually we have a few for Deliver. What is the difference between Deliver 2-day service as it relates to Walmart and the FBA type service that Walmart is launching themselves?
Yeah, that's a great question. I know I touched on it briefly, but I think the big thing to take home about this is we are inherently multi-channel. I think many sellers, especially probably some on this call, don't want to have to send into 1, 2, 3 different warehouses to sell on multiple channels. We're inherently multi-channel, so it offers a great ability for you to plug and play into different marketplaces. And as Chad mentioned at the beginning of the call, you never want to have all your eggs in one basket. And so Deliver offers that ability. We're having sellers right now who didn't do Amazon with us, but they already have inventory. And so they just plug in Amazon and they're doing FBM right away.
Awesome. And then we have a question for David. David, I have a question about, of course, Walmart listings. So, does Walmart have any equivalent to Amazon's brand registry to log issues with non-complying listings?
Yeah, so that's what I was mentioning earlier about the first person locking it down. So I mean that should be the brand, and then regardless of what's in someone else's feed, your content is still going to be what's showing.
Okay, great. And I guess this isn't to anyone specific, but we have a question from Alejandro. What are the top tips for actually getting approved to sell on Walmart? I know Walmart is notorious for their application process and showing that you have established positive ratings. What are tips on getting approved?
I mean, I could definitely field that right now. You can go ahead and submit the application on Deliver right now. Shoot me an email. I'll go and talk to the Walmart team right after, assuming you have everything completed correctly. I know they're moving a lot of people through a lot quicker given what's happened with FBA right now.
Great. And
I think it's.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna add on to that having a clean feed helps that approval process as well, because if you have the wrong taxonomy or field names or a lot of things that are empty, that causes more heartburn for Walmart. So having good clean data helps everything move along.
Got it. And a follow-up question from Jenna is, how long does it usually take to get approved by Walmart to sell? Michael, I know you said they're expediting that process.
Yeah, so I mean, typically you should anticipate about a few days to a week. I was speaking with Walmart this morning, and we are trying to help sellers as quickly as we can. A large reason why some of the applications get stalled is people have incomplete information. They don't have all the necessary information in the application, or they don't respond to them as quickly with the necessary information. So as long as your application's pretty good, I've started to see some turnaround times of 24 to 48 hours on those Walmart applications.
Great. And for Tenuity, Elizabeth, what advertising tips do you have for a brand that wants to stand out amongst millions of competing products on Walmart? We know the market saturation is a lot smaller, but what are your tips there?
Obviously, so from an advertising perspective, I would take a look at, there's only a few units that are available within the self-service model. So if you're comfortable with doing something a little bit larger, maybe talking to Walmart about a larger media buy in terms of brand awareness, it depends entirely on what your setup is. And when you say millions of products, I assume that's millions of products with also millions of variations. So it might be a strategic play there in terms of what products you're promoting with other products more than anything else. Could also have to be with the different variations are overshadowing something that's a little more profitable. That's probably where I would start more than anything else. And then obviously an automatic campaign usually gets things going. We see an automatic campaign on average performs better than a manual campaign. However, the right manual campaigns can absolutely stand out in the crowd.
Great. And another question for you is there a different audience to expect on Walmart versus selling on Amazon?
Yes, so there's some overlap, right? So we know that 90%, 7%, you know, Cleveland Research had a survey about this. About 97% of Walmart customers also are on Amazon, but 57% of Amazon customers are also on Walmart. So there is an overlap. We are in a price-sensitive economy, and just in general, I think some, like Chad was talking about earlier, about some of the brand difficulties with being on Walmart is totally. We got to relook at it, and I would look at the difference between Walmart.com and stores more than anything else. .com, that's a no-brainer. I mean, that's easy to test out. You don't have to. There's a lot less involved to get going on that, but also it is a different experience, and it is a different customer.
Great. And then another question, are you allowed to sell on the Walmart marketplace if you're not a US-based seller?
Yeah,
I
no, I don't know.
That's open to everyone, sorry.
I was muted there. I can handle that. You do need a US business address and a tax ID number. So it will get rejected if you don't have that.
Yeah. And if you are abroad, I mean, there's Walmart Canada that we also do quite a bit of work with.
I say they do have some advertising right now.
And is it illegal to drive customers back to your homepage for additional product features? I know Amazon does have some strict listings restrictions, especially about driving traffic to an external site. Does Walmart have the same ones?
I would assume that they mean like in the product content, like trying to put a link in or something like that. I'm pretty sure that you can't do that.
Okay, and then this one is also for you, Elizabeth. How can I get an idea of how many clicks and impressions my product will get before I commit fully to Walmart?
You can't. They don't have the estimation tools like that. One of the things that I will say is kind of use Amazon as if you're live on Amazon as a rule of thumb, you should expect about 20 to 30-ish% in terms of organic sales. So if you are able to replicate what you're doing with Amazon, let's say you're fairly successful, you're able to, let's say, meet Prime expectations, whether or not that's the seller fulfilled Prime or FBA, whatever, and you're able to replicate those efforts on Walmart, you should see about 20 to 30% of the volume on Walmart. And if you're way under that, then you will, at least that way you can at least forecast what the total probability could be. But then fortunately, there are no tool estimated things. What I have seen is in terms of impressions, Walmart does impress high. So if I take the same set of products on Amazon and compare to the same set of products on Walmart and take a look at the impressions from advertising, Walmart has more impressions on average than Amazon does, and also a lower click-through rate.
Okay, thank you so much. David, back to you. How important is implementing enhanced content in Walmart product listings? Do you see much of a lift? And second part of the question is, I already use Feedonomics for selling on eBay. Do I have to go through the whole onboarding process again?
Gotcha. So we would definitely be in favor of better content all the time because there's no way to lose. Always put your best foot forward. If you're already doing eBay through Feedonomics, then essentially our connections to your back office system maintain. We just need to now connect from Feedonomics to your new marketplace account. So the onboarding happens, much faster, and then obviously your return on spend with Feedonomics will also be better.
Great, and this one is, I'm not sure if it's for you, David or Elizabeth. This is regarding review solicitation. So using, for example, a Bazaar voice for review solicitation, and just wondering if the review rules are as strict on Walmart as they are on Amazon.
They are not as strict. So
Okay.
you can use a review aggregator like Bazaar Voice or Power Reviews, and you can get those into Walmart. If you just go and search some products now and take a look and scroll down to the reviews, you may see that those reviews were aggregated from elsewhere. So we've had clients collect reviews from like their .com and submit those.
Great. And actually, I think that is all we have on questions. We're running about 5 minutes over the hour. I want to thank all of the presenters here today. I know it's been such a crazy couple of weeks, and everyone's getting a little stir crazy at home, but we hope you were able to take away some valuable insights today. The recording will be delivered to you within the next 24 hours. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. That's Gina, Gina, at Skubana.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice rest of your day.